The F-22 Raptor is widely considered the most dominant air superiority fighter ever built. But it has one glaring limitation that most people never think about. It has never once landed on an aircraft carrier, and it never will. That wasn't always the plan. In the late 1980s, the Navy seriously considered putting a version of the F-22 on its carriers. It got a name, a program, even a nickname, the Sea Raptor. And then it was canceled. Today, we're going to look at exactly why that happened, and why, nearly 35 years later, that decision is suddenly relevant again, because of what China just did with its own carrier fleet. In 1988, as the Air Force's Advanced Tactical Fighter program was taking shape, the program that would eventually produce the F-22, Congress pushed the Navy to consider something bold, adopting a navalized version of the same aircraft to replace its aging F-14 Tomcats. It was called the NATF-22, unofficially known as the Sea Raptor. Unlike the standard F-22's fixed wings, the Sea Raptor was envisioned with variable sweep wings, similar to the F-14, because folding, adjustable wings help a fighter manage the very different speed and control requirements of carrier landings. The airframe would also need reinforcement to survive catapult launches and the violent shock of tailhook landings, plus corrosion-resistant coatings to withstand constant saltwater exposure. On paper, it sounded promising. In practice, every one of those changes added weight, cost, and complexity to an aircraft that was already pushing the limits of what was technically achievable. Carrier aircraft face a fundamentally different flying problem than land-based fighters. They need to fly much slower, more controlled approaches, and be able to safely abort a landing, a wave-off, at low speed, if something goes wrong. The F-22's airframe, optimized from day one for high-speed stealth performance, simply wasn't built around those constraints. By 1990, the Navy officer responsible for outlining its fighter requirements, Admiral Richard Dunleavy, stated plainly that he didn't see any way to fit the F-22 into an affordable plan for naval aviation. In early 1991, before Lockheed had even officially won the ATF contract, the Navy dropped the NATF program entirely. Here's the part most videos on this topic skip. At the time, this wasn't really seen as a loss. The Navy believed a series of upgrades to its existing F-14 fleet could handle its air superiority needs well into the 2000s. Bolting Navy requirements onto an Air Force airframe that wasn't designed for it from day one risked repeating a costly mistake. The same kind of forced hybrid design that had caused problems decades earlier with the F-111 program. In hindsight, the Navy's actual replacement path, eventually landing on the F-35C, a stealth fighter built as a carrier variant from the ground up, rather than retrofitted onto a land-based design, is generally regarded as the more coherent long-term choice. The Sea Raptor was an elegant idea on paper. Structurally, it was closer to a rebuild than a modification. Here's why this 35-year-old decision matters again today. In 2026, China has done something no Navy outside the United States has ever done: successfully operate a stealth fighter from a catapult-equipped aircraft carrier at sea. The aircraft is the J-35. Officially nicknamed the Blue Shark, flying from China's newest carrier, the Fujian, the first Chinese carrier equipped with electromagnetic catapults rather than the older ski-jump launch system. Chinese state media confirmed catapult launches and recoveries from Fujian in 2025, and by early 2026, the carrier-capable J-35B variant, distinguished by reinforced landing gear and a twin-wheel nose gear built specifically for those catapults, had completed its first flight tests of the year. By mid-2026, Chinese state broadcaster CCTV confirmed the J-35 was operating not just from Fujian, but across all three of China's active aircraft carriers, giving the People's Liberation Army Navy stealth carrier aviation at a scale no country besides the United States has ever fielded. That's the strategic gap the Sea Raptor conversation was really about, decades before anyone called it that. The question was never just, can we put a stealth fighter on a carrier? It's who gets there first and what does the other side do when they don't? Right now, the US Navy's answer is the F-35C, a genuine fifth-generation stealth fighter, and by most public assessments, still a highly capable aircraft. But it was never built with the F-22's raw air superiority performance in mind. It was designed as a multi-role strike fighter first. Some defense analysts have pointed to China's rapid J-35 rollout as part of the argument for accelerating the Navy's next-generation carrier fighter program, known as F/A-XX. So here's the real story. In 1991, the US Navy looked at putting a stealth air superiority fighter on a carrier, decided it wasn't worth the cost and complexity, and chose a different, more practical path instead. In 2026, another Navy looked at the exact same problem, and didn't walk away from it. Whether that turns out to be a smart bet or an expensive one is still an open question. But it's worth knowing that the what-if behind the F-22C Raptor isn't just a piece of aviation trivia anymore. It's a live strategic question again. If you want more stories connecting aviation history to what's actually happening right now, subscribe. There's more coming.